Let's take a look at how a millennial woman is choosing to raise her daughter.
I'm teaching my 5-year-old daughter to be a misandrist. If you
There you
didn't
go.
scroll after I said that, then let me tell you why I'm doing this and how. My daughter is going to grow up in a patriarchal society, just like I did as a millennial. And I want her to go into the world with an inflated sense of self. Her doctors, her dentist, any sort of healthcare provider that we go to, I always make sure is a woman. I mostly listen to female artists out of preference. And the other day she asked me if men could be singers too. And I said yes. And I know the world is going to beat her down. And I want to make sure that she doesn't take it, right? So I've told her that women are smarter than men, that men take power, but women have innate power inside of us. But in society, we don't always have as much power. And I've told her that women are better leaders. She did tell me that she told her dad that women are smarter than men, that girls are smarter than boys. And she told me, well, dad has smart. I'm divorced, if you can't tell.
Shocker.
And probably some people are like, why are you teaching your kid this? But to me, this is a lesson that I wish that I had had. I grew up conservative Christian in the deep South. And it took me so long to unlearn all of these things as a woman. It took me so long to step into my power. I am 38 and I feel like I've just done that in the past couple of years. And I don't want my daughter taking shit. I've taught her about consent, about boundaries, how to name her emotions. Like, I am preparing my daughter for battle.
Yeah, these millennial feminists, man, they are a different breed. Preparing her daughter for battle. What a lunatic. How exactly are you going to be helping your daughter by filling her with paranoia from the start, right? Teaching her that men are out to get her and they are the enemy. And then all the lessons of battle preparation will consist of, belittling the enemy, which is men, placing yourself above the enemy, which is men, and then hating the enemy as much as mom does. The same reason that like Uber and Lyft can get away with allowing female drivers and riders to opt out of dealing or interacting with men entirely. Well, it's the same reason that a mother can openly say she's raising her daughter to hate men without triggering any sort of interview or intervention or a review or anything like that. And that's because discrimination against men is permitted. If a father said that he was raising his son to be a misogynist, he'd be investigated and then, just cut off from his child. If Uber let male riders and drivers also opt out of interacting with women, there would be civil rights investigations overnight. And a big reason I think that this continues is because men, they don't really protest or organize and raise hell the way women do when the roles are reversed. And that's just the reality. But, if things continue like this, it's possible that soon we're going to have some sort of like a man-only curfew. Just so women can feel free to roam the man-free streets at night, all because of this like rampant paranoia and hysteria that society continues to capitulate to and then organize around. By the way, this video, it got 80,000 likes, thousands of supportive comments, and no, this isn't AI. Someone even accused me of being AI the other day. Some of you guys really got to chill with the AI accusations. Seriously. But anyways, with her, it's like it's one thing to repeat dogma, but the real question is, well, is it even true what you're saying, right? Are women actually generally better leaders than men? No, they're not, right? They're not. And real quick, for those thinking, oh, well, now you're doing exactly what she's doing. You're just the other side of the same coin. You're saying men are better leaders. She's saying women are. Well, you're no better than her. You're just as bad, but on the other side. Well, here's the difference. I'm right, she's wrong. Just being on the opposite side of something does not automatically make you equally wrong or even equally bad. So here's the question. Why is it that in every single nation's military, the gender consistently overrepresented in leadership positions is men, not women? Like, if women were naturally superior leaders, why wouldn't we, the most advanced military on the planet, have them leading its most elite units? Like, if they're so much better at it, wouldn't they naturally just rise to the top in the highest stakes environment possible, right? Where it's life or death, defense of a nation, where only the best are trusted to lead because failure is not an option. And people will say, well, it's the physical part that holds them back. Leadership is about mind and communication. Well, again, if they were better at that, the military would just overlook the physical gap, right? And weaponize their brilliant minds because they'd be too good to ignore. Oh, well, it's because women, they don't gravitate toward positions in the military. That wouldn't matter. The military would do whatever it takes to fill those roles to the brim with women. So, oh, but they are. That's what diversity initiatives are for. No, they're not. Diversity initiatives are for just that. Diversity. They don't exist because women outperform men. No, they exist because they don't outperform men. There's a big difference there. What's actually taking place is that in order to increase the number of female leaders across the board, we've had to make leadership in part about gender, not merit. Just change the criteria, then boom, wow, look at all these women in leadership. Just think about how competitive it is, even for us as men, right? There's always some other guy who's just as sharp, he's just as disciplined, just as relentless. I mean, it's a brutal meritocracy. How on earth are women who have less testosterone, lower risk tolerance, and higher emotional reactivity, how are they going to win in that sort of race to the top? Well, generally they can't, right? And if one did manage to, then yeah, she actually earned it, right? Congrats. But that's not the competition they're in. As I said, it's not solely about merit. When companies are terrified of being sued, if it even looks like men are being chosen over women because of sexism, well, what do you think is going to happen? Well, they make sure it never looks like that in the first place. So now men are competing against men, women, their employers' fear of litigation, and feminist political agendas. And look, I know, and I've met some very capable women. That doesn't negate anything I've said. I've even seen some women, be better employees than some men. Sure. But that's not what we're discussing. If I want to be at the top, right, Do I have to be better than some men, or do I have to be better than most of them? She's talking about leaders, right? When it starts getting real and the wheat gets separated from the chaff, that is where her fantasy starts to fall apart. And I can already hear it now. Well, nobody is saying women are better at getting into leadership. We're just saying they would be better once they're in the position. Well, I would say the process of getting there is the filter used to find someone most likely to do well in that role. Or at least it used to be. Now that process has added gender in the filter. So eventually this woman's daughter is going to have a big fat question. If women are better leaders, why is it that we have artificial initiatives to get women in those positions? And if she'll be real honest with herself, she's going to start making the same observations as this woman here.
Has anyone else noticed how toxic it is to work in an all-female workplace? Like, I started my new job and I was so happy because I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be all girls. During my training, my manager asked me a question and I forgot the answer, and she was like, you decided not to remember that? Like, you chose not to remember that? Oh my god. Every time one of the girls clock off, all the other girls are talking crap about her. And then they think I'm weird because I won't talk to anyone. Like, I go there to work and I will not talk to anyone. Because, like, they hate each other. And the worst part is that they pretend to be best friends.
Yeah, this just kind of reminds me that of that meme where it's like reality versus expectation versus reality. It's like the expectation is, kindness, everyone getting along and getting things done, high fives all around, no men around, no patriarchy, just a bunch of women getting along, going home with a big smile. And then reality, you get backstabbing, gossip, passive aggression, rhetorical questions from the manager to make you feel stupid. And I get that this is her experience and it's anecdotal, but I've heard this story a lot. Even experienced it myself when I encountered nurses. But be careful. They will promise a utopia of female leadership. But once you get it, there ain't going to be any refunds when you realize reality doesn't match the promise.